So what does a rental property look like after a tenant has lived there for 17 years? Well, today I'm going to find out because I had tenants move out recently after living in the place for 17 years. Now, I haven't owned it for 17 years. I've only owned the place for 5 months. So this is really my first time being inside one of these properties that I recently purchased and actually getting to see it empty for the first time. So what does it look like when a tenant moves out after 17 years? If you're new to real estate investing, one thing you might not realize as the buyer is you might not get to see the inside of a place you're buying before your offer is accepted. This is typically the case when a property is tenant occupied. Now, mostly this is just because it would be a nightmare for the seller and for the tenants to get constant 24-hour notices saying you've scheduled a potential buyer to come and take a look and they need to clean the place up and let them into their personal space. So doing it once is not such a big deal, but if you were having to do it over and over and over again, every time somebody wanted to see it and it was a potential buyer, it could be a real big problem for your tenants. Plus, until the buyer writes an official offer, there's no way to know if they're really serious buyers or if they will come in at your sale price anyway. So with a multifamily investment property that I recently bought 5 months ago, I actually did get to see it in person before the offer was officially accepted. I had submitted the offer, but the seller's agent wanted me to take a walkthrough before they actually signed on the dotted line. The tenants were all very friendly. Several had been living there for close to 2 decades. One in particular, I didn't get a very good look at the place. They had been given notice to move a month or two earlier while the property was for sale. And one of the tenants had amassed quite a lot of belongings after 17 years that they had lived there. So let's just say it was hard to really see what the place actually looked like. And I couldn't tell you what color the floors were or if they were carpet or flooring. And you get the idea. Well, those tenants recently moved out and I got my first opportunity to see the place completely empty. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. So when I went out, I took some video of me walking through the door and walking through the property. And honestly, I had no idea that there was a brick fireplace that was painted bright blue. There was no way to see it in the 2 times before that I had been in the place. Although it was left with a very thick dust and some dirt everywhere, nothing was swept or vacuumed, and the yard was left with some random shelves and plants and other things left behind. I honestly was quite relieved that there wasn't more belongings left behind and other things for me to deal with. So unfortunately, by the time I arrived, the power company had already turned off the power. I hadn't called them in time for them to cancel the shutoff, and I had to wait through the weekend for the next Monday to get the power turned on. So luckily, I had some flashlights with me and planned ahead and brought a lantern. My first thought as walking in was that the floor isn't so bad, and the carpet in the living room, although covered in quite a bit of dust and debris, actually looked way better than I expected after 17 years. For some reason, the dishwasher seems to not be installed anymore. It's not all the way in the cabinet, and the tenant told me that she never used it. So I'm going to need to add the dishwasher on my to-do list of things to get fixed. The kitchen cabinets are in need of a really, 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 really good scrubbing. Maybe even down to getting sanded. Same with the range hood. For some reason, there are nails going through the floor near the sliding door. No telling if this was a bad installation job or if the tenant was trying to make a fix on their own. I have no idea because after 17 years, anything's possible. The amount of dust left inside the laundry closet is pretty shocking, considering that the tenant had told me that she only had one more thing to do before she left, which was she was going to sweep all the floors. And the carpets didn't even get vacuumed either, but it definitely didn't look like it had been swept. Still, it's way better than I was expecting. So overall, I'm not completely disappointed. And to my surprise, this is actually the first time I realized that there's a kitchen pantry in this unit. It's really good size too. I'd like to have a pantry this size in my own house. The coat closet was a surprise as well. I never even saw it the first 2 times I was in the place. Plus, there's a lot of extra built-in storage in the hallway, which is great. I mean, this place has a lot of storage. The bathroom needs a really good cleaning, and I couldn't figure out why there was this open cubby closet thing in the bathroom right behind the door. It looked really odd. It was way bigger than a typical closet would be, and certainly way larger than a linen closet. And I really couldn't figure out what it was there for. And then I realized that that cubby behind the door, it actually used to be the shower. So the bathroom is actually quite large. It has a tub, and apparently that tub used to be only a tub and it had a shower next to it. So at some point along the way, someone decided to take the shower out and make it storage and just add a shower to the bathtub. So actually, it's not a bad idea. Storage is always better, I think. The other bedroom just has a standard reach-in closet. Now, the outdoor space in this unit is really, really nice. It needs a good cleanup, needs some dirt added to the flower beds, but overall, it's just a really nice layout with a nice covered patio, which would be great during the hot days when the sun's beating down. Like I said, it needs a good cleanup. There's some stuff left behind that needs to be trashed, and I'm going to have to bring out a gardener to clean up some of the missing dirt and things like that. Maybe add some rock. I don't know. We'll see. So where do I get started? When the tenant gave me notice, I asked a local contractor to come in and give me an estimate for a complete remodel. I was considering making everything new again. However, when that estimate came back at close to $30,000, my plans changed quickly. So instead, I scheduled Home Depot to come out and measure the floors because after 17 years, I was pretty sure we'd need to do some new flooring. I also called my go-to painter to come by and give me an estimate. So I just got the keys back 4 days ago. Home Depot will come out and measure tomorrow, and the inside will be painted starting tomorrow. Price for the painting is higher than expected. And he's also going to go ahead and sand down all the cabinets and repaint those as well. I'll decide if the carpet needs to be replaced once I can see them with the lights on, since I haven't been in there with actual lighting. Maybe just a good cleaning will suffice. They actually didn't look so bad. So now I need to find a junk hauler to come out and remove some of the items that were left behind. And I need a gardener to spruce up the exterior and do a good cleaning to the inside and the outside. And of course, get the locks changed. And then hopefully I'll have some great new tenants ready to move in just a couple of weeks. So I'll be sure to update with new video and new pictures on how it looks after it gets painted. I'm really looking forward to the transformation. Can't wait to see it.